David Bruno's with us. He's a former prosecutor, criminal defense attorney. This is the most compelling and damning evidence, what these two young boys provided to the court and to the jury by far. But they're young, and are they taken with a grain of salt? What's your experience tell you in terms of how child testimony translates in a case like this?
Yeah, lawyers, they never like calling witnesses at this age. I mean, I'm in a domestic court frequently on restraining orders, and judges do not like when they're called. It's really the last ditch problem. It's not common. Why? Because look, they are young and they don't really understand this process. And especially, this is the biological children of the other party, that third-party guilt allegation. So does it come with a grain of salt? Absolutely. But the jury will have the opportunity to watch. They're right there, and they have to decide the credibility of that witness like they do any other witness that comes before them. And that's ultimately the charge that they're going to get on credibility and looking at the factors. To your point, Ted, yeah, this is a good witness for the prosecutor because you get to see what's happening in the home itself. When this defendant is pointing the finger at the other party, then how do you decide who's the aggressor and who's the abuser? And the only other witnesses in the household become minors. That's why the prosecutor had to call them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Because the story these kids are telling is horrific. When Dad is gone, when Derek is gone, and who, by the way, is a complete disaster, Derek. He admits to bashing Josie's head into a wall multiple times, abusing. We heard audio of him drunk and abusive to Josie. But there's no evidence that he has attacked the kids, and the two that came in said that they were not the victims of abuse at the hands of Derek, and it was just Josie, and it was mainly just towards Alex. But the story, the hot sauce, putting hot sauce on his food, making him eat off the floor, just the pizza crust while everybody else is eating the whole pizza. The stories are horrific. However, did she cause his death in that day is the big question. And that hasn't come out yet, and I don't know that they have that. Is it enough to just tell a horror story through two children and get a conviction?
No, it's not, Ted. I mean, the concerns that you articulate are the concerns that the jury's going to have in the jury room on deliberation. Because we try to keep out the most prejudicial other act evidence out of the criminal trials. We want juries to make the decisions based on the facts of the crime itself. But there are exceptions for other acts under the rule 403 or 404. So this is going to be a causation issue, to your point. I mean, this is an issue where it could be the pill bottle, it could be what's in the blood, it could be other things. And just because there's abuse before doesn't necessarily mean that it's beyond a reasonable doubt that this defendant killed intentionally to support the state's allegations.
Here's a bit more from the child that was on the stand yesterday talking about seeing his little brother dead.
Where was Alex's body when you first saw it?
Where was he when he was dead?
Yeah.
On the room next to the living room.
Okay. Is that Josie's room?
Yes.
Okay. And where was his body in that room?
On the bed, in the middle of the bed.
On the bed in the middle of the bed?
It's just heartbreaking to hear that little voice talking about actually his big brother, Alex, dead, sitting there. Does she have to take the stand? They intimated in opening that she's going to testify. They worded it in a way that she doesn't have to at the end of the day. However, if she does, I don't know that you can get up there, David, and say, I never touched a kid, I never did anything, this is all lies, 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 because between the two kids, there is a compelling bit of truth there. Something went on at the hands of Josie Dikeman. How would you instruct her to handle the that part of the equation in terms of admitting some guilt?
That's if she gets on the stand. I mean, defense does not like calling the defendant, because what it does is put all eyes on the actual testimony, and the jury is now assessing the credibility of the defendant. And for any witness that gets up there, there are challenges that come with any cross-examination. A skilled cross-examiner that has the record, prior statements, prior incidents. I mean, there's going to be a treasure trove of cross-examination material that a skilled practitioner would have to really challenge her on various different points. And if the jury believes that she's lying about a thing or some unrelated thing, they could hold that against her on the charge itself. So, I mean, I think about Murdaugh. You know, we covered that together, and we watched Murdaugh testify, and he had to explain the frauds, and he had to explain and admit to a lot of bad acts as well. And how did that come out for Murdaugh? Different case, obviously. Josie has the opportunity, has the right to do so. But if she does do it and get on that stand, now all eyes are on her. And the jury's going to be assessing the credibility the same as we discussed with the children.
Yeah, and then all of the testimony from Derek goes out the window, which I would argue was a win for the defense. That all goes away, and they just focus on Josie. All right, let's get a break when we come back.